What's up, Fantasy Champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now, with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network.
I heard they want the news. Well, we got it just for you. What's your team? Who your player? Who your crew? I heard they want the news. The spotlight is on you, and if you in the hot seat, it's times two. I heard they want the news. Come tune in to the crew. But we got the hook up just like black and blue. I heard they want the news. Spotlight Sports, what it do? Hit subscribe and that like button too. I heard they want the news.
Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to MK Headlines episode 15. And I still can't believe it's episode 15. It's like crazy. 15 straight weeks. Wow. Thank you all for the support. It means everything. But hey, we finally got some merch. I got some merch. The link is in the description below. 15% off for today and tomorrow. So if you want merch, go in the link in the description below. Go cop my merch and anyone from the network's merch. 15% off. And I got a couple good guests today, and the first one is already here. He just hit 1,000 subscribers, so please welcome MGNAS. Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up, man? I'm doing good, man. I'm excited, man, to talk some sports, man. And there's a lot of things going on in the Philadelphia sports world, so I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Let's just get right into it, and let's just start off with the Eagles right quick because something's been. I've been thinking about this for a little bit now, and that's how important this offseason is to Howie Roseman because this is like a make or break year, and he cannot miss at all. You think? Like, he can't miss at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way, man. I mean, look, he had a solid offseason last year. Obviously, the Devontae Smith draft pick was, the highlight of the offseason. You had guys like Landon Dickerson, who looks like they're going to work out well, and some other guys here who could develop. But this offseason is really where it's going to make its mark. You got extra cap space because we no longer have to worry about the Carson Wentz contract. We're going to have a lot of draft capital here. So Howie Roseman has all the tools he needs to make a competitive team this year. And if he doesn't do it, I mean, we all know where he's going. Or, maybe he might not get fired, but at least we all are going to want him fired. But who knows? Jeffrey Lurie, those guys are like best friends. So he might be our GM for the rest of our lives. But, Howie Roseman, he has everything he needs to succeed. He has everything he needs. And if he messes up, man, this could get ugly very, very quick. But, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. You know how the Philly fans can get, like, it's crazy. But just to think, like, going off last draft, it's like the best draft of his career. And to follow up, it's going to be tough, but hopefully he makes the right moves. So with the first 3 picks, do you go defense or what do you do with those first 3 picks?
I think we have a little bit more defensive need than offensive needs. But we do have to address the replacement of Brandon Brooks, right? I mean, that's something that has to be done eventually. Defensively, you do have needs though. I feel like we need a consistent, great linebacker who can, kind of be here for a long term at the linebacker spot. I wouldn't mind a safety here either. You know, Anthony Harris is probably not going to be back. Who knows what's going to happen with Ronnie McLeod? He's getting up there in age, so definitely a safety could be there. And who knows? Maybe an edge rusher here. A lot of people talk about David Ajobo from Michigan there. But I also wouldn't be mad if we go offensive, replace Brandon Brooks in the first round, go all out for that. I wouldn't be mad maybe if we don't get another wide receiver in free agency. Maybe we get one with our third pick in this first round. So we have a lot to do. So I think we definitely need to go after the best player at our needs. And I think definitely defensive. We have a lot of defensive holes that we do need to fill here in this offseason.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm a huge Michigan fan, so
Hmm.
I just want Ojabo. I mean, that guy, man, he just has the intensity, the IQ, the awareness, like everything
Hmm.
you need, he's got. And what I want Hutchinson, hell yeah, I definitely want Hutchinson. But in order to do that, we'll have to trade all of our draft picks to go up. Like,
Hmm.
to me, I would do that because I'm a Michigan fan.
Hmm.
So, can you see Howie Roseman trading any one of our 3 picks in the first round?
Most definitely. I'll actually be a little bit shocked if we go into this draft with all of our 3 picks. To be honest, knowing the type of guy Howie Roseman is, he's always looking to make a deal. He's always looking to make a deal. And I feel like GMs around the league have that respect for Howie Roseman in that aspect where Howie Roseman will make a deal, rather it's a big deal, rather it's a small deal, rather it's a deal with the Cowboys, rather it's a deal with the Patriots. Howie Roseman's always down to make a deal. And I'll actually be shocked if we don't make a deal with any of our draft picks here, rather it's trading up, rather it's trading back, rather it's trading for a player who's already in the league. Howie Roseman is a guy who is looking to always make a deal, and I won't be surprised if he's going to be aggressive with trading one of these picks.
Yeah, yeah. He's always known to make trades. And the best trade that he's ever made was arguably the Carson Wentz trade. I mean, we actually won a trade. I still can't believe that we won a freaking trade. What are the odds that
Yes,
that happens? But
yes,
hey,
and
it is
we
what it
did
is.
it. Yes. But man, I'm just like it's crazy because like looking at that Carson Wentz trade, I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. But the fact that we still made the playoffs and we got 3 first round picks, and now Carson Wentz might even be cut. Oh my god! I mean, the Colts gave us a 1st round pick for a guy who won't even be on their team next year. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just insane. And if we these draft picks work out, we easily won the trade, man. We this could be go down as one of the best trades that this franchise has ever made if we draft the correct pieces. You're trading a guy in Carson Wentz who was just kind of done with the organization, and now he's going with the Colts. Didn't even make the playoffs. Couldn't even beat the Jaguars the last week of the season to make the playoffs. And if we make these picks correct, then the Eagles, I'm saying, man, we could be serious contenders in years to come. But it's all gonna go down to what Howie Roseman does and what he does in order to improve this team. And that's gonna be big, man. That's gonna be big.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be big. So, can you see us going after any free agent wide receivers? And if so, who would you like for the Eagles to go after?
I definitely could see us going after free agent wide receivers. Because I think if we're gonna go all defensive in the draft, we might as well get a second receiver or somebody at least to help out Devontae Smith. And I think a guy like Chris Godwin, he's coming off of an injury, but he had a 1,000 yards even with missing the last few games of the year. You got a guy, Allen Robinson, who's a great veteran. He won't take away the number one wideout reps from Devontae Smith, but he can also be a consistent number 2 guy. You can have Move Quez Watkins as our third receiver there. He can help out, some of the young guys in this receiver room. So I can see those 2 guys here. Maybe we make a trade for Calvin Ridley. We do the big splash. Him and Devontae Smith, and hurts that Alabama connection could very be well. So, you know, but Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, those are the receivers that come in mind when we talk about who could the Eagles bring in from free agency.
Yeah, yeah. And I definitely want Calvin Ridley. I just want the Alabama connection back. I mean, it was electric then. I would like to see it here. But
Yes.
just one thing to keep in mind about Calvin Ridley is his mental state.
Yeah.
because he's just been out for like a while now, and just like I would just love for him to get right. That's the most important thing. Then come here to Philly. So, what would you offer the Falcons for Calvin Ridley?
Um, See, I'm very hesitant on offering a first because of some of those mental issues that you bring up, and being in this type of environment like Philadelphia, you have to have a strong mental state. We've seen players here who just been mentally checked out recently. I mean, we look at number 25 who recently played for our basketball team. We look at Carson Wentz here who kind of just checked out mentally and just axed away from the team. So I mean, you got to be mentally tough. So as far as what would we give up for a guy like that, I would definitely give up, a second round pick and maybe like a Andre Dillard. I'll definitely give that up. They can use some offensive line help, develop a young guy there, and then they take that second round pick and they maybe replace Calvin Ridley or trade both of their seconds up into the first round and get a receiver. So I think that's a fair trade for both sides. Trade a second round pick, trade away Andre Dillard, get yourself Calvin Ridley, and the Eagles can do some things there.
Yeah, I I don't see any good receiver coming in and being a number two. Well, you don't know that. You really don't know that. It just depends on what each team needs and if the trade benefits both sides, like the Sixers and Nets trade, for example. I
Hmm.
mean, hey, it is what it is, but I just want Calvin Ridley. If I could get Allen Robinson and Mike Williams, I'm perfect with that. Like,
Hmm.
I'm definite. I mean, take my money. This wide receiving core is bad. It's not that good at all. I mean, when you have a guy, Rager, who was supposed to be like the guy from 2 to 3, and then you have Whiteside, Greg Ward, and everything. It just doesn't work. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. So I actually heard that they're actually shopping Rager now. So
Thank you. Thank you, man. Look, man, no disrespect to Rager as a person. I'm pretty sure he's a good guy, but he doesn't belong here. This is not where he belongs. And he was just a bust. And that's just quite simple. I mean, Quez Watkins was our second best receiver last season, guys. I mean, look, all love to Quez Watkins, and I think he's gonna be a very good number three wide receiver for us in the future. But Quez Watkins is supposed to be your number three, not your number two wide receiver or number one. When Devontae Smith wasn't getting looks, other than Dallas Goddard, it was Quez Watkins getting the looks. So definitely, we need to get a number two receiver, and Rager is just no, no, no. And this trade right here that you just brought up in the comments, Rager in the second for Ridley, I would do that all day long, all
I would
day
do that
long.
too.
Give me
Like,
that all day. You guys can have him, man.
yeah, take them. I mean, they coming in and being a number one. So you saying Smith is better than Ridley, Godwin, and Allen Robinson? Well, the only reason I say that is because they already have a good connection. He's a good number one for a first year starter. So you got
Hmm.
to ride out with that. You got to ride out with him to being the number one. And so if you do get like an Allen Robinson or something, I want him to mentor Devontae Smith.
Yep.
Maybe teach him some tricks, route running ability and all this
Hmm.
stuff. And, just to take the back seat
And
because
also
Devontae
too,
Smith is our future.
with Allen Robinson, actually, Devontae Smith had a better season than Allen Robinson did this past year. Devontae Smith had about 60 some catches with 900 yards. Allen
Yeah.
Robinson only had 38 catches with 400 yards. So Allen Robinson is on the downside of his career, but he is a good veteran who can be a number two. So I actually think if we get Allen Robinson, that's the perfect number two wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I would love to have like any wide receiver better than what we got now.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
let's go to the defensive side because there's a
Hmm.
safety I like from New Orleans, and that's Marcus
Oh,
Williams
yes.
because I think that'll be a good fit. You agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, when we played them last year, I feel like, we have a lot of success against their defense. I mean, Jalen Hurts is out there playing backyard football. But what the thing is about Marcus Williams, he's very aggressive. He is Philadelphia as far as his toughness, as far as his grit. He plays kind of like, I wouldn't say exactly like Malcolm Jenkins, but he would kind of be in that role for us, who's a very solid leader, can play aggressive, can play closer to the line of scrimmage, but also does not play bad in coverages either. And I like Marcus Williams. I think he would be a perfect fit. And if we can find a guy who can all-around safety who can play close to the line of scrimmage, but can also have a little bit of success in coverage as well, I'll take that either way, man. So I love Marcus Williams for us.
Yeah, I mean, we need a guy in the secondary that can really make an impact like a Brian Dawkins and a
Mhm.
linebacker. I mean, we had Jeremiah Trotter,
Jeremiah
Takeo
Trotter.
Spikes, D'Amico
Yep.
Ryans. This
Ryans.
defense was known for having one of those threats in the defensive side. So
Mhm.
we need someone like that, like without a question. And I'm just gonna ask you this right now.
Mhm.
Steven Nelson. It looks like he's gone. So how do you replace him? Do you want to maybe go for him in a draft, or is there someone you're eyeing on for a Steven Nelson replacement?
Um, I mean, Steven Nelson, as much as he wasn't a number one type of guy or he wasn't flashy, he was a consistent number two. So, and it's not as easy to replace those type of guys who are consistent number twos. It's not as easy as a lot of people think. But I like a guy in the draft named Ahmad Gardner. He kind of
Yeah,
is a very versatile guy. He can kind of play safety and corner, for what
yeah,
I've been hearing. So he's very versatile there, kind of like a better version of what Jalen Mills was supposed to be, kind of playing that hybrid
yeah.
corner slash safety role. And it's another guy in the draft, Khair Elam, who's very well as good as well. I mean, that's another one. As far as free agency, I don't have my eyes set on someone, but if we could possibly somehow get Stephon Gilmore, I mean, I take that all day long. Him and Darius Slay in the same secondary. I mean, Lord Jesus, that'd be great. But definitely, I would like to go more draft, especially since Slay's getting older. I think we should go a little bit younger as far as corners go.
Oh yeah, definitely. Trade your first pick and Cox to the Saints for Williams and Thomas. Now I
No,
was gonna
Williams
ask
is a
you
free
this.
agent. Williams is a free agent.
Who?
We can sign him. Marcus Williams is a free agent, so we can just sign him. We don't have to trade nothing for him.
Yeah, I know, but it was actually lining up to my next question anyways, is that do you trade Fletcher Cox?
I mean, I've been debating myself about this for a while. I mean, Fletcher Cox is a guy, right, who did not produce as far as sacks and tackles go. But one thing that Fletcher Cox still does well and that people fail to realize is that he creates double teams. He has the respect of every single offensive lineman because of his presence. So he creates a lot of double teams, which got Hargrave and guys like Josh Sweat a lot of good looks to the quarterback. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind trading Cox. I wouldn't mind trading him. But if we kept him, it's not the end of the world. It's not like he's just wasting a roster spot because the double teams that he creates still at this age, it gives a lot of open spots. And that's why you've seen Javon Hargrave really thrive last year, because when Cox is double team, you can't leave Hargrave one-on-one because he's shown that he can win. So, I mean, if we want to go young, if that's our full out plan this offseason, then yes, trade away Fletcher Cox, get some assets, and move on. But if we want to still have veteran presence, if we want to have a guy who can still attract double teams, I would keep Fletcher Cox. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind either way. I can understand both sides of it, but it is what it is. I just want to. It depends on what route we want to go with our team next year.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can definitely agree with Fletcher Cox. I know it will be such a big cap hit, but we did get off of Carson Wentz's contract. So that's a benefit we can look forward to.
Hmm.
But if we could get like a solid linebacker for Fletcher Cox, if the trade is right, I'll do it. Give
Oh
me that.
yeah,
If the trade is right. Because to
yeah.
me, the trade's got to be right on both sides to make that kind of move.
Hmm.
And let's just go right into the Sixers. And big news happened today. Willie
Yes,
Cauley
sir.
signed. I mean,
Yes.
dude, I did not see this coming. I did not see this coming at all. Did you?
I didn't see it coming. I mean, I thought it'd be somebody else, and I haven't heard of Willie Collins sign in like 2 years, to be honest. I mean, he had like a stretch of his career where he was a decent player, but I definitely did not expect to see that coming. So that kind of caught me off guard. But a lot of guys wanted a backup guy, and Willie Collins sign definitely can be a backup guy for Embiid. So we'll see how that works out.
Yo, shout out to Beantown Breakdown for the $5 donation. Thank you, man. Really much appreciated.
Or
MK, you know you're the man, but F Philly. We
shout out
beat
to
you guys. Actually, no. Yeah, you crushed us. Never mind. I'm going to shut up.
shout out to
Boston.
Beantown
He's a Boston
Breakdown.
guy.
Yeah, I know he's
Yeah.
a Boston guy. Yeah.
But
Shout out to
yeah,
Boston.
but then you lost to the Pistons.
Yeah. See. At least we didn't lose to the Pistons, you know.
We may lose by 30, but we didn't lose to the Pistons.
We didn't lose to the Pistons.
Fletcher Cox would have might been the best route and great value for a linebacker. Yeah, you're right, Ryan. You're definitely right. But Willie Cauley-Stein, yeah, what's up, man? Thank you for being here. Willie Cauley-Stein, man, he's athletic. He's got height, 7
Mhm.
foot. And remember, we have someone by the name of Paul Millsap who's like 6'10 and old.
Mhm.
Give me Willie Cauley-Stein, and I know it's going to be longer than a 10-day contract because
Yeah.
think about it, right? If he's going to perform well with James Harden in that pick and roll, it's going to be
Mhm.
beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Willie Cauley-Stein go from coast to coast. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
This is definitely a good fit for Harden as well. And I think, I like what Daryl Morey's doing right now, the Sixers general manager. He knew that Harden was gonna be a guy who was gonna go for it in the Ben Simmons trade. And the fact that we still got a guy like Paul Reed on this roster is really key. And I'm gonna get to Willie Cauley-Stein in a second, but Paul Reed, him and the Harden in the pick and roll with the lobs and stuff, that could really, really thrive in that aspect. And then you get to a guy like Willie Cauley-Stein, very experienced. He's been in some playoff series here. He's been in the league for a while now. A guy who can, just set screens for a guy like Maxey, set screens for a guy like Harden, for Shake Milton. Help out, get our shooters open with your big body. And I think Willie Cauley-Stein coming off the bench, playing like 10 to 15 minutes a game. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. A guy who can come in, be serviceable, let Joel Embiid get a breather. Don't give up too much. We don't need you to be spectacular, but just don't get beat up on defense. That's when I look in a backup center, that's what I most importantly look after. Don't get beat up on defense, and you will always have a chance. Because if you got a good defensive backup, your offense when your starter comes back in, it's gonna be very, very good for him, and they can still play with the lead. So I like this signing a lot, and it's gonna be longer than 10 days. Longer than
Oh,
10 days.
yeah, definitely. Longer than 10 games, yeah. But I just been thinking about this. Is this an upgrade or a downgrade from Drummond?
I mean, just I gotta say a downgrade right now because we haven't seen Cauley-Stein play in a while. He
Yeah.
hasn't played a lot of minutes in a while, but the fit with James Harden could be better, and we can see if in the future is better. But as of right now, I have to say it's a little bit of a downgrade just because Willie Cauley-Stein hasn't played in a while.
Yeah, I didn't even know until I looked it up that the Mavericks let him go last month. They
Yeah,
waived him. And I'm like, what the hell?
they
Where
need
did
the
that come
physical big
from?
man.
But hey, I mean, if you're 7 foot and you're young, I'll take that because this bench, we need athleticism like there's no tomorrow. Because
Mhm.
we have Furkan Korkmaz on the bench who's not athletic at all. And I love Korkmaz, but I'm
He's
just
not
saying that,
athletic.
like, we need athleticism for this bench. So that is an upgrade for that.
Yeah, I mean, look,
So,
we got Korkmaz and Danny Green coming off the bench. Those guys aren't athletic. Danny Green's like 35, and all he does is shoot corner threes. And Korkmaz is just, I mean, he's fine, but just not athletic at all.
yeah, Willie Cauley-Stein has enough experience to contributing and develop the pick and roll screens and Joel Embiid and James Harden. He does. He
Mhm.
really does. He has a problem staying healthy. I mean, Douglas, doesn't everybody have a problem staying healthy? Like, we have so
Nowadays.
many players, Harden and Embiid. I mean, it's just like the theme nowadays.
I mean, look, man, but if we do stay healthy, watch out.
Yeah. MK, honest question for you, bro. Can Phillies get to the finals? I can see it, but I was talking to John Johnson, the guy from Sports Radio W94
WIP.
WIP.
Yeah.
Yes, he came on the channel like last week, and
Mhm.
we were just shooting it. And he has us right below the Bucks. So it'll be the Bucks, us. The Bulls are too injury prone. They're like unhealthy.
Mhm.
Cavaliers, they're too young. And then you got like the Miami Heat could be up there. That's like the only other team I could see because they're well rounded. But I can honestly see the Sixers getting there. But
Mhm.
here's the thing, the Sixers bench is inconsistent.
Yes.
So hopefully Willie Cauley-Stein can help us with the consistency, which I'm looking forward to the most. So the
Yes.
bench is the only thing that worries me.
Yeah, I mean, if Shake Milton was consistent, if Danny Green was consistent, I think we'd be way better off. Because I mean, I think those, especially, I think Shake Milton does have a lot of potential, especially as a sixth man, coming off the bench doing some things. But he's had problems staying healthy this year. But he's been solid when he's been in the game. We'll see what Paul Millsap brings. You know who I love off the bench though? George Niang. I mean, all
Yes.
respect to him. He's been just a great guy. I mean, his attitude, his aggressiveness, his leadership, leading the bench unit, his shooting ability as a power forward, at providing extra shooting when we need it the most on the bench line. I mean, I think it's just George Niang has been exceptional this year. And honestly, when we signed him, a lot of people were like, who's that guy? He's not going to play or he's not going to do this. But he came in and he earned his spot. He earned his spot. And George Niang, if he is going to be playing consistent like he does as of lately, we're going to have very, very good production from the bench. So I'm excited to see what we have in this second half of the season, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. And there's one thing before I get into beatdown breakdowns comment here, and
Hmm.
that's Willie Cauley-Stein's free throw percentage, which I looked up. It's at 61%, which is still better than Andre Drummond, so that's a plus. But
And
it's not
Ben
exactly
Simmons in the
where I wanted it
playoffs.
to be. Huh?
And number 25 in the playoffs. He has better free throw percentage than that.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep on talking about that for years to come. I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna still talk about that. MK, you know that the Celtics and the Sixers are gonna run into each other in the playoffs. That's gonna be a hell of a series. It is gonna be a hell of a series because as of right now, I think we're playing the Celtics, aren't we? Because I think we're third or sixth or something
Yeah,
like
yeah. We
that.
would be playing the Celtics right now if the season ended right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I would love that to get revenge on that last game. I mean, hey, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown against Joel Embiid and James Harden. Like, give me my money, man. I'm definitely doing a live play-by-play of each and every game. Like, take my money for that. That would be
Yeah.
such an insane. And beat down, breakdown. We should do a live play-by-play. If this were to happen, right? If this were to happen in the
Mhm.
playoffs, I'll do one game. You do the next game, go back and forth. I think that'd be
Yeah.
fun. But yeah. So I said, yo, what's up, Jamar Gage? Thank you for popping in, man. And if you guys are new here, please subscribe to MGNAS. He just hit 1K. He does a lot of live streaming. He does a lot of stuff. So talk about your channel real quick, dude.
Yeah, man. You can look up MGNAS. I know my name is a little bit long, but you look up MGNAS is the first channel that pop up. I do a lot of live streams here nowadays. Since it's the Eagles off season, you won't see a lot of Eagles content, but a lot of Sixers live streams and basketball stuff. So, if you like basketball, you like football, Eagles or Sixers, definitely come consider checking me out. And, we just have fun over there and we enjoy our time. Me and my chat, we're chill and we just have fun, man. And we make sure everyone has a good time over there. So, and whatever you guys want to talk about over there, I do as the fans request. So, hey, man, y'all want to check me out? Be sure to do so.
And now you do a podcast with Big Play Slay, right?
Yes, we have a podcast during the NFL season. It's called the Eaglet Podcast. We don't have a channel for it. We just kind of scatter around all of our channels. So, as soon as Eagles content start picking back up, me and Big Play Slay on both of our channels, we host an Eaglet podcast where we talk about the Eagles, maybe their upcoming game if it's during the season, or during trade season, whatever. So, me and Big Play Slay do a lot of content together, and it's fun.
Yeah, and we all make fun of him for being a Lakers fan and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah. That's crazy.
that just it just comes with the name. But I
Hmm.
just want to ask you, what I think you and I talked about this before in your channel and your calling show.
Hmm.
But what is your starting five for the Sixers?
All right, so obviously, I'm gonna have point guard. I'm gonna go with James Harden at the point guard here.
Ooh,
Maxi's
okay.
gonna be the shooting guard because he's better as a secondary ball handler than he is a primary ball handler. So that at the small forward, this one is tough, but I'm gonna go more defensively. I'm gonna go with Matisse Thybulle here, even though I know he's been getting a lot of slack for his offense lately, but he's still one of the best defenders in the league. Then we got power forward. Obviously, we're gonna go with Tobias, and then center. Obviously, it's no question. We're gonna go with Joel Embiid here. But that small forward spot, I mean, some people might go with Danny Green because he provides more shooting, but I'm gonna go with Matisse. I'm gonna go with defensive impact here. He can still finish at the rim. He can dunk very well, so I'm gonna go with that lineup.
Yeah, for me, I can agree to everything you just said. I just have
Hmm.
Harden and Maxey flip-flopped because
Okay.
Harden his natural position is a shooting guard,
Hmm.
but he is going to average like 10 to 12 assists per game. So
Hmm.
if he does that for the point guard position, I'm more than okay with it because
Hmm.
I need the James Harden that came into Brooklyn from Houston because he
Hmm.
took the game back. He was averaging like what 28 and 12 or something
Yeah.
like that, which
Yeah.
definitely is something we need. I mean, come on now, how can you turn
Yes.
that down?
Yes,
So
yes. I mean, we gonna need everything that we're gonna get from James Harden. We're gonna need some passing. We're gonna need some playmaking, but we're also gonna need some scoring. We're gonna need him to be himself, and I think it's gonna be up to Doc Rivers and the coaching staff to make sure to get that out of him. I mean, the dude over his last 4 years has been averaging his highest assist numbers ever, and that's just great to hear, man. And we're gonna need that. We're gonna need what you said. We're gonna need that 28 points and 12 assists on certain nights, and we're gonna need everything, man. So I agree with that.
yo, shout out to my guy Greg Melly, man. He just hit 1,000 subscribers last week. I mean,
Hey,
I've
there you
known this
go.
guy ever since he was at 700 subscribers. This guy knows his basketball shit. I mean,
Yes,
I've
sir.
collabed with him. He collabed with me. Yo, next week, next Tuesday, Greg, if you're up for it, come on this channel, bro. Come on this MK Headlines.
Mm.
We'll talk about the Sixers because I miss talking Sixers with you, man. You're always with Eastwood, Rob, RB now. Like, come on, man. You forget all about the little people. But
Hey, shout out to Greg though. Shout out to Greg. 1,000 subscriber club. Me and him recently hit it. Shout out to Greg, man.
yeah, definite. But Greg, let me know. You're welcome to come on this show next week, bro. Definite. So I just gotta talk to you about this, right?
Hmm.
Doc Rivers. He is major key when it comes to James Harden. So do you think Doc Rivers is going to, change up the game plan a little bit with James Harden? Are the rotations scary? Let me know your thoughts on Doc Rivers.
I think Doc Rivers, he has a lot of pressure on him right now. And I think I only say that because Doc Rivers is a kind of coach where he has not had the greatest success as of recently when it comes to the playoffs. So the lineups are going to be key, but I think in the playoffs we're going to have to run an 8-man rotation. It's going to have to be Harden, Maxi, and Tobias. They're going to play a lot of minutes. Obviously, Embiid. You're going to have Matisse Thybulle and Danny Green. That's already your 6 right here, and then your 7th and 8th man is going to be George Niang and Willie Cauley-Stein. And then you're gonna maybe add Shake Milton for certain series, but that's your only 8-man rotation. You got Maxey, Harden, Thibault, Harris, and Embiid as your 5. Your 6, 7, and 8 is going to have to be a guy like Danny Green, a guy like George Niang, and a guy like Willie Cauley-Stein. That's 8 guys right there who are going to have to be in the rotation there, and they're going to have to be consistent. They're going to have to be consistent. So, and then like I said, some series, some matchups, you're going to throw in a guy like Shake Milton and maybe a Korkmaz as well. So, those are that's going to be the main rotation for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one thing that scares me about Doc Rivers, other than his hairline, is this rotation. I mean,
Yes.
how many times have we seen an all bench rotation? I mean, like it's every single game. So if you
Hmm.
have James Harden and Joel B both on the bench at the same exact time, something's wrong.
That's a
Like
failure.
definite something is wrong. So you gotta have one of those guys on the court at all times. If you
Yeah.
don't, unless you're up at like 30 in like the fourth
Yeah.
quarter or something, that's fine. If we
Yeah.
got like a big lead.
Yeah, it's not a success when if Embiid and Harden are on the bench at the same time. That's not a success at all.
Yeah. Jerry, can't wait for the buyout. We're getting Willie Cauley-Stein. So that's a good start off. And you know what's
Hmm.
funny? A second later that we got Willie Cauley-Stein, DeMarcus Cousins is going to the Denver Nuggets.
He's gonna
As
stay there.
soon as that
Okay, man.
happened, I'm like, I don't even want Cousins because of his like history his emotions and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
I think
don't
his
want.
emotions in this locker room. I'm fine with Khalistan. I just think with DeMarcus Cousins, I think I liked him when he was with the Kings, but his emotions in this locker room, we just can't risk that here. I think right now, I don't know if you agree. I think right now this might be the best I've seen the Sixers locker room in years. As far as
I,
guys are enjoying each other, guys are happy to be here, guys want to play here. Everyone is holding each other accountable, and this is one of the best Sixer locker rooms I've seen all year, or in the
yeah,
last 2 years.
I agree, 1000%. I mean, thank God, number 25 is gone. Ben Simmons is gone. Thank God. Now we're gonna have a nice family in the locker room. Everyone's gonna be happy and stuff. But
Mhm.
we still need a backup point guard, in my opinion. Goran
Mhm.
Dragic went to the Nets. God dang it. JC Sports Talk was just rubbing my nose in that. God dang it. But who do you want to go after? For me, I got Eric Bledsoe. Like, I think that
Ooh.
would be cool.
You know what? I'm gonna agree. I like Eric Bledsoe. I think he's a good veteran point guard who can come off the bench for us. And I actually really like that, and I really do. And he's been in playoff series before. He's a decent leader, and him coming off the bench for Maxi and or Harden. I mean, come on, that's probably the best we're gonna get in the buyout market as of right now too. A guy like Eric Bledsoe, who is a solid leader, who can produce off the bench. So I like that.
Yeah, and someone is also telling me, which is I'm confused about, Dennis Schroeder. I don't know if the Rockets traded for him. Are they letting him go? Are
I
they
don't
just
know.
letting him go to the buyout market?
I don't know what they're doing. They haven't officially bought him out, but they also haven't like said they were going to keep him either. So it's really confusing with Dennis Schroeder. I mean, I wouldn't mind him off the bench, but Dennis Schroeder is very confusing with what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Dante is a huge Rockets fan, and Dennis
Hmm.
Schroeder is one of his favorite players. So obviously, he's going to want
Hmm.
Dennis Schroeder to be there. So they are leaning towards to keep him. Who? The
Then
Portland?
Rockets on Dennis Schroeder.
Oh, they were planning to keep him.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay.
leaning on. That's fine. Yeah.
If we can get an Eric Bledsoe or some sort of a point guard, like a veteran point guard, God dang it, I want to go in drives like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah. Too bad George Hill didn't work out for us last year.
MG, you look like a little bit of Dennis Schroeder.
I don't think I look like Dennis Schroeder.
No, I don't see that. I think it's the
No.
hair.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I just gotta ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So the top 75 players, right?
Ooh.
They were
Mm-hmm.
here. They announced them all. So here's my thing, right? How do you feel about James Harden making that? I know he's a Sixer now. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy for him. I think, he's done a lot in his career, especially with the Houston Rockets that, he's won an MVP. He's been to multiple playoff appearances. He's been the scoring title champion, I believe, 2 or 3 times in his career. So he's done a lot of things. And I think that's cool. Now, one thing I do got to say, Tracy McGrady was a snub, and you can
Yeah.
have a Harden and him debate any day. But I'm happy for Harden. I do think he deserved it. I feel like he's done enough in his career to be considered one of the 75 best in the league has ever seen, and definitely one of the best in this generation that a lot of us have seen. So I'm happy for him, and we'll see what happens. But one guy who I gotta say, I don't know about Damian Lillard. I mean, I know Philly fans love him, but Damian Lillard over Tracy McGrady, that's interesting. But we'll see.
Yeah. And here's another player a lot of people are talking about on Twitter yesterday, and that was Tony Parker.
Oh, he didn't make it? I didn't.
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He
So
he was
I'm
good. He was good.
definite. He was like that true point guard you had to have. But for
Mhm.
me, it's just like it was a disgrace to leave him off, but I'm happy that Harden's there. But over Tony Parker, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, Tony Parker was a Finals MVP winner.
Beal didn't make it either? Well,
No.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Wait, did Beal make it or you
No,
want
he didn't make
Beal?
it. Beal didn't make it. I don't think Beal deserved to make it.
Oh,
Not yet, at
no.
least.
Hell
So
no, not yet.
yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
not. I mean, that's like saying Spencer Dinwiddie.
Spencer. I mean, him and Bradley Beal have basically the same career accomplishments. They both have like one playoff appearance in their career. Beal's just a little bit better scoring.
That would be awesome. Okay, I get you now. That would
Oh,
be awesome to
okay.
get Beal in the
I was about to say,
offseason.
yeah, I don't think
Yes,
Beal's
but he is
gonna be fine.
injured now. So if he's all good in the offseason and Tobias Harris's contract is gone, give me that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I'll take that.
definitely.
I,
But obviously, we're going to need to save up money because Harden is going to, cost a lot throughout the years.
oh yeah,
So,
he's gonna make us pay.
yeah, definitely. So we're going to come on. I'm going to have a next guest on in a couple minutes. So
Hmm.
let's just talk about all-time Sixers. Who's your favorite all-time Sixer?
Uh, before I want to say this season, it was clear cut Allen Iverson. Clear cut. I wasn't ready to debate yet, but now it is Joel Embiid. He is my
Okay.
favorite all time Sixer. I just think what he's done last year, this year. I mean, not last that is not 2019, but in 2018, averaging 27 points a game. I mean, I think what he's been doing is just sensational. He's had 3 seasons where averaging over 25 points per game or more. Every year of his career, he's averaged over 20 points and 10 rebounds. So, I mean, Embiid, what he's doing this year, breaking so many Wilt Chamberlain records in our franchise history, breaking so many scoring records in our history. He is the NBA scoring leader right now and is on pace to be the scoring title holder. I think Embiid, for me, what I've been watching the last few years, he has moved as my number one favorite all time.
Okay, I respect that. I really do. He's doing incredible things. Like
Yeah.
people compare him to Hakeem Olajuwon, and that's like right on the money. So
Hmm.
yours is Wilt. Okay. So I had John Johnson on, like I said,
Hmm.
and his is TJ McConnell.
Is he serious? No, love TJ, but actually,
Yes, I'm not
wow.
kidding, but yes,
Okay.
because he wants to go different. He wanted to go
Okay.
different. He loved the way McConnell played. He loved the way how he would scrap for loose balls. Like he was passing enough. He had that Philly grit and
Hmm.
everything. So I could see that to an extent, but to me, no. Like no, for me,
Yeah,
it's
he's not.
Allen Iverson. Joel Embiid is up there.
Hmm.
Moses Malone is up there. Like I could go down everybody.
Yeah, and
Embiid
I
is
just
my
think
second. I love TJ too. Yeah,
TJ
everyone
McConnell,
loved TJ.
he's not
Yeah,
even getting his jersey retired here. Like, it's just.
yeah, he's not. He's
But
not. But
we love TJ though. Like TJ, if he wanted to come back, he can definitely come back anytime he would like. Like TJ's good, but like I don't think all time I wouldn't pick him.
yeah, I I wouldn't. It'll be never forget TJ's buzzer beater against the
Yes,
Knicks,
I
right?
watched that game. Oh, that was so fun. That was so
You
fun
you were
watching that.
there?
No, I was just watching that game. That was like my third or second season actually like being a diehard Sixers fan. I was like
Yeah,
2016 or something. It was like, oh,
yeah.
what, that's 6 years ago now. Wow. That was so long ago. Oh, 6 years
I
ago.
know. I know it's insane, and I'm just gonna bring that up to Nate every time I talk to him now. But
Yeah.
TJ was just that dude. He was, man. He freaking was. I mean, he had that mid range. He had all this stuff. But
Hmm.
to have him as your favorite all time Sixer, though,
I
like,
can't. It's too many. I mean, it's too many, man. You got Will Iverson, Barkley, Malone, Julius Irvin. You got Embiid. You got so many other guys, man, who can be on your all-time list. And I just don't think that TJ McConnell will be one of them.
now if you said like top 15 of all time Sixers, I can see that. Like top 15, not even top 10. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
top 10. Like,
yeah,
definitely, you can go each way.
mhm,
All right,
yeah.
man. So I guess it's gonna be on in a minute. So let the people know where they can find you, man.
You can find my channel at Talking Sports with MGNAS, but you can just search up MGNAS. You can find it on Twitter, MGNAS27. Those are the two most active social media sites that I'm on. So you guys can go find me there, and I talk about the Eagles and Sixers for the most part, but I talk about every team in both football and basketball, man. So I like talking about the sports in general, man. So check me out if you like.
Oh yeah, dude. Help them get to 2K. I'm on the same road. So if
Yes,
you can
sir.
subscribe to both of us and subscribe to Spotlight Sports Network, that link is in the description. So Thank you for coming on, man. I'll keep in touch with you. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too, man. Peace. All right, we got one more guest coming. He just texted me. He'll be on in a minute. So this is a perfect time to talk to you guys about the merch. Yeah, you heard me right. Merch. I finally got merch. The link is in the description. It's 15% off today and tomorrow. So go cop your merch, guys. You can get a shirt. You can get a sweatshirt. You can get a hat. You can get a mug. You can get a sticker. If you want merch, now's the time to cop. And here we go. Here's my next guest, guys. He's actually one of my favorite people I ever met on YouTube. He has me thinking about basketball in a different kind of way. And yeah, he's a great guy. Please welcome Terrence Echols from the Echols Unlimited podcast. How's it going, man? I haven't talked to you in a minute.
I know, it's been a minute. How you been?
I'm doing good ever since we got Willie Cauley-Stein.
Oh, really? Did
We just got him today.
Okay. Yeah,
we
no,
just
I
got-
haven't. I'd practiced and everything today. I haven't been paying much attention, but great.
Yeah. So before we get started, let the people know where they can find you at, man.
Right. No, absolutely. My name is Terrence Echols. Like Mitch said, I host the Echols Unlimited podcast. It's on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, anything where you get your podcast. And then you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Same username. It's TERRENCECHOLS. That's my full name, Terrence Echols, with just one E in between my two names. But yeah, that's a little bit on me. I play basketball at Marist College currently. I'm a grad student here, and I just enjoy basketball. I enjoy talking about it, and I enjoy the Sixers. It's my favorite team.
There we go. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, man. So how do you feel about the Sixers so far at the halfway mark?
I feel good. I definitely did not see them playing this well without Ben Simmons. As you know, I'm a huge Ben Simmons fan. I still support him, even though he's no longer on the team. I know you
Okay.
have your feelings about him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
respect that, man. Unlike other people, I respect it because
Okay.
you stand your ground, you have your opinions, and I respect your opinions as well. So I definitely respect that. We're going to get into that a little bit. So if you could continue, how do you feel about the Sixers? Like, to me right now, it was good, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah. No, and yeah, I appreciate that. You know, not everyone's going to agree with me, but you're right. Yeah, I think they're in a good spot. You know, definitely could have played a little bit better in a few games here or there. A couple guys on the team that haven't played as well as they should. Tobias Harris has really picked up his play recently, so I've been pleasantly surprised about him. I'm a big fan of him as well. And you know, Embiid's having an MVP caliber year, and I don't think anyone is surprised. I don't think anyone didn't see it coming. I don't think anyone expects him not to win the MVP if he stays healthy. So I definitely am impressed with him. Impressed with the team overall, and I'm excited to see what James Harden can bring in terms of what he's able to do in the pick and roll with Joel Embiid. I just worry about them on defense. I'm glad they kept guys like Thibault and I'm really glad they kept him on the trade. I think losing a key defensive player on the perimeter like that would have been rough.
Yeah. So I just got to talk about Tobias Harris real quick. Like,
Yeah.
I thought he would have been gone at the trade deadline before Ben Simmons. Like, I just had that feeling because of his contract. But he's still here. He's not living up to the contract. So, do you see him getting away this offseason? Do you see the Sixers trading him?
I definitely saw it. Well, let me ask you this question. What do you think the market is for Tobias Harris? What do you think the Sixers could get in return for a guy like him?
For Tobias Harris, the market, I don't even know, honestly. Like, that's such a tough question to answer. If we can get like a second round pick and maybe like a serviceable shooter and maybe some pieces along the way, I'll be fine with that. Maybe like I don't know. We just need something for him. He's not really worth that contract. So if we could just line up some players who can match that contract, and obviously we're not going to get a superstar for him. We're not going to get like a Bradley Beal. We're not going to get like someone like that caliber. So if we could get some pieces to help build this bench, I'll be fine with that because I'm not a fan of this bench at all.
Yeah, yeah, and the bench took a hit with a guy like Drummond getting traded, and Seth Curry's in and out, but I think he's a starter caliber player, so I don't want to include him into the bench category. But um, yeah, I think the market for Tobias Harris is weird because his contract is that of like a super max guy, even though he's not exactly there in terms of his production on the court. How much of that is contributing to the fact that he plays with such a great superstar like Joel Embiid, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think the market for him is kind of weird. But I thought that if the Sixers hadn't traded for James Harden last week, how long has it been? A week? A week and
It's
a half?
been like a week, 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, if they didn't trade, for James Harden 2 weeks ago, I definitely think they would have used Tobias Harris and gotten off of his contract in order to sign Harden after this season. But yeah, I think, geez, in terms of what I I think they can get for him. I think I like one of those caliber players I was thinking about that they talked about a lot for Ben, like those CJ McCollum, the Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, that category of player, Demontis Sabonis, those
Yeah.
types of guys. Yeah, I definitely thought trading Ben Simmons for James Harden was a no brainer. Like trading him for James Harden, Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, that was what Morey needed to do. I definitely didn't like the fact of trading Ben Simmons for a serviceable guy like Buddy Hield, like Tyrese Halliburton, like Demontis Sabonis, plus like young guys to build around.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you think Daryl Morey handled this right? Like, waited all this time, saying no to every trade, just keeping his eyes locked on James Harden. Do you think
Yeah,
it's the right? It was great.
yeah, no, absolutely. Because if you look at it from this perspective, trading Ben Simmons for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks for Paul Millsap and James Harden. Trading all that for James Harden and Paul Millsap. I didn't look at Ben Simmons as much of an asset, and that's weird coming from me being a huge Ben Simmons fan, being a huge Ben Simmons supporter. The fact that he wasn't playing for the Sixers this year, he was, getting fined for going all the money. He wasn't going to play. There was no shot he was going to end up suiting up for the Sixers. So he's basically just sitting there. The Sixers aren't paying him, so it's not like he's that type of financial liability. So I think, like, at the end of the day, the trade was Seth Curry and Andre Drummond for James Harden and Paul Millsap,
Yeah.
because the 2 first-round picks aren't going to be worth much unless the Nets are able to pick up a guy like Maxey, which is 1 in 150 chance. So I think that if you look at it from that perspective, whereas like Ben Simmons, he wasn't playing anyway. It's just Drummond and Curry for Harden and Millsap. I think it's a great trade. I think the Sixers win that trade.
So you don't think we gave up too much?
I don't. I really don't. I think that Moore needed to do what he needed to do in order to get James Harden. If that's what the Nets were asking for, I don't think, as long as they were able to keep young guys like Thibault, young guys like Maxey on the team, I was fine. I was fine. I knew a few guys were supposed to go. I was hoping it would have been, a guy like Korkmaz or maybe Danny Green or one of the guys who I'm not as big of a fan of. But at the end of the day, seeing Drummond and Curry go, it kind of hurts because I was I was beginning to like them, and they had been good contributors to the success the Sixers have had this season so far. So it's tough seeing them go, but I'm really glad that at the end of the day, James Harden is on the Philadelphia 76er, and he
Yeah.
seems so much happier.
Oh, I love it, dude. I freaking love it. After this live stream, I'll send you my reaction. But Dennis Smith Jr. got waived yesterday. He going to Philly. I mean, for the bench, I mean, he can put some scoring on the bench, and it would be help us to be a little more consistent. So I would like that if we could just pick him up. How about you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Dennis Smith Jr. is a very underrated, misunderstood type of player. I think he grew up in that era of the basketball ball is life mixtapes, and had all those videos go out about him, and people develop these expectations for a guy like him. And in reality, he's a serviceable NBA player. I think he's a good guard off the bench who can provide scoring. He's a great athlete. You know, if he could apply his athleticism to the defensive end, which is something that Doc Rivers really stresses, the defensive end of the court. I think he can definitely be a guy who can come in and contribute. Especially off the bench, give Maxey a spell, and because Maxey's currently leading the team in minutes. I know that's not a huge deal because he's only 20 years old, but at the same time, he's still the starting point guard. So I mean, you don't want him to log all these minutes during the regular season and then come to playoffs. You don't want him to lose sort of
Momentum.
energy. Yeah, because he hasn't experienced it yet in terms of a starter role. Like, he came in last year against the Hawks and in sparingly moments, but now he's literally the point guard. He's the guy. So the Sixers are going to lean on him to play maybe 35, 40 minutes a game almost in the playoffs. So he's going to be needing to do that. So definitely need some good guards off the bench who could come in, facilitate, run the offense, and score when needed.
Now, how do you feel about Thibault's offense, his shooting? I know he hasn't been shooting the ball well. Does that concern you?
Yeah, I love Matisse Thybulle. I think he's great at what he does. I think the game on national television versus the Warriors, where Steph had the chance to break the record that game.
Yeah.
Matisse Thybulle really was able to show, this is the type of guy I am. If I can, do a great job and lock down the best shooter in the history of the game on a day where he wanted to make history in our building, and I was able to shut him down and prevent that from happening. He really introduced himself to the national audience as this is me, this is what I can do, and I think that his offense, there's some to be desired. He's good in transition. If you get him the ball in transition, he will score for you. But I mean, how often is that gonna happen in a playoff series where a lot of it is slowed down in the half court? I think he's a good shooter. I don't think he's a great shooter, especially spotting up in the corners. I don't think that's his thing. He can make a three. I mean, which is something positive considering the Sixers' first round picks over the past 5-6 years. Guys like Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz have really struggled with that. Zaire Smith, just to name a few. But yeah, I think 28%. I think that's what he's shooting right now. I'm not exactly sure. I think he needs to improve that part of his game. Just being able to spot up, knock down threes, because that's what James Harden is gonna need him to do, especially in games where maybe he gets doubled, he gets trapped. He's gonna have to move the ball. He's great at doing that too. People forget Harden led the league in assists a couple of years ago.
Right.
Yeah. So no, people are like, oh, Harden's a ball hog. I really want to dispel that myth, because he's one of the top assist guys in the NBA for the past 5-6 years. So yeah, I think Matisse is really going to need to step up and become that knockdown reliable shooter. I think that'll come with some offseason work. I think Korkmaz needs to improve as well in terms of being knockdown shooters because, I mean, we're going to need it.
Yeah, yeah. So for Matisse Thybulle's offense, right? To me, Tobias Harris is the key because if he gets hot along with James Harden and Joel Embiid, put Thibault on the best player on defense because if Thibault does nothing, then we're going to need other players to step up and help Harden and Embiid. So that's where it comes into play. So for me, it's for Tobias Harris. He's a key factor. So you got to go look at Tobias Harris as well. So with that being said, it's Matisse Thybulle in your starting five.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth about this and thinking about, potential starting fives with James Harden added to the mix. And yeah, he is.
Okay.
He really is. I think having him alongside, Maxey, Harden in the backcourt, and then Harris and Embiid in the front court, having him out there, you can, mix and match. You can put Matisse on the 1, the 2, the 3, whoever the best offensive player is, and then disperse Maxey and Harden on, some of the weaker offensive guys. And then you have that great anchor in Joel Embiid, one of the best defensive big men in the NBA. And then Tobias Harris, I mean, he's not a lockdown defender, but he's still also not a huge liability down there. But yeah, I think having Matisse out there for his offense or his defense is very valuable. I think the Sixers have enough shooting on the court with that lineup, especially because of the fact that Harrison and Embiid can make threes. It's not their forte, but they can shoot is something that teams are going to worry about and teams are going to keep in the back of their mind. And we all know Harden's knocked down. We all know Maxey's knocked down. So, yeah, I have him in my lineup for sure. Who do you have?
I have the same exact lineup, but I have Harden at the 2, Maxey at the 1. Because put Harden back in the natural spot at the 2, and I love it. You know what else I love Thibault at the 3? Because Harden's defense is not that good. So if you have Thibault's defense, helping out Harden a little bit, I feel like that's a lot better as well. And Harden can take care of the scoring by himself. Yeah. So I love that aspect. I mean, you got to do that. You got to do what you got to do. And Danny Green, he's better off the bench. I mean, plenty of people have said that. I've said that countless times. And Korkmaz, you need to keep him off the bench as well. So I think Thibault's the best option at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. One thing about James Harden that I think gets overlooked sometimes is he's close to the top of the league in steals. His on-ball defense is much to be desired. No, don't get me wrong, but James Harden can play good help defense. I think he's good at getting in passing lanes. He's good. He has great quick hands. I don't know if you've seen. There's a viral video. I think it might be DeMar DeRozan. He's guarding him on a fast break, and people thought Harden looks like he's just giving up on the play, going to give him the layup. But Harden just gets a hand in there. He's looking away, gets a hand in there, swipes the ball, and knocks it off of DeRozan's leg, actually. And it's a clean strip. And it looked like it was, unintentional. But I just thought, that just shows how quick and how good the guy's hands are. So I definitely like James Harden getting in passing lanes. I definitely like having him with Doc Rivers and a guy like Joel Embiid, who's not going to be happy if he's not putting in effort on defense and getting in passing lanes. But yeah, I think having Thibault out there to help him out on defense, if he gets beat as the primary defender in a scenario, just to help him out and get there. And then we all know Embiid is good at cleaning up plays and especially if a guy's driving, coming on the weak side and blocking shots. I definitely think it's going to be one of the best lineups in the league for sure. We just got to figure out the bench is the key right now.
Yeah, and we did make a move today. We got Willie Cauley-Stein. So I know you just heard it from me, but from your instant thoughts, you like that? signing of Willie Cauley-Stein is a 10-day contract.
Oh, okay. So 10-day contract, my instant reaction is I like it. I like the fact that we're getting a guy with experience. I like the fact that the Sixers have a guy who has proven to be a good defensive anchor, a great shot blocker, protects the paint very well. I think that's something that they lacked, when they take Embiid out of the game, because Andre Drummond is not much. Andre Drummond can rebound, don't get me wrong, but he is not much of a shot blocker, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Having Cauley Stein out there, I think that's a great pick for your backup center. I think he's serviceable. That's what we need. He's no Andre Drummond, but he's good enough.
And here's the funny thing, right? I didn't even know that the Mavericks released him last month. I didn't even know that. And the fact that we got him, he's younger than Millsap, he's taller than Millsap, he's faster than Millsap. So to me, it looks like Millsap lost his playing time. Because to me, we need someone with height. We lacked height. We need someone with speed who can go coast to coast. The pick and roll with James Harden. Oh my God, that would be nice.
Lob threat, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cauley Stein is a great lob threat. I think James Harden has proven with guys like Capella that he's so good at throwing those. He's so great at playing out of that. But yeah, I think Millsap has always been more of a 4 in my opinion, and I think he can give good minutes as the backup 4 instead of Niang if his shot isn't on, because I like Niang. I'm just I think he brings good shooting to the team. I think he brings just that experience of being a good offensive player. Something that the Sixers kind of need. They need someone who's gonna be able to come in. Niang can score maybe 10, 12 points for you in just a few possessions. You never know. But yeah, have him split time with Millsap as the backup 4 after Harris. I think, who knows? I think that could be something we could look forward to towards the end of this season.
Our team would definitely be better with Harden. I wish we kept Drummond, but it is what it is. I mean, we all knew Drummond was going to walk. We all knew that at the end of the season. He's going to want a bag. So, can Brooklyn give him that bag? That's the question. With Ben Simmons' contract over there now, you have KD's contract, Kyrie's contract, and they just picked up who they picked up? Goran Dragic. They just picked up Dragic, yeah. So it's like, can they afford his contract? Because to me, I think he'll walk after that as well. So he could be a starter in this league, and I think he's a starter over there in Brooklyn. I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't watch much Nets games. I think I watched the one game that happened. I want to say it was right before New Year's.
Yeah.
I watched that game. I was glad to see the Sixers win that. But other than that, I haven't really been paying much attention to the Nets.
Right. Yeah, I haven't either. I'm actually doing a live stream for the Spotlight Sports Network on Thursday, to see how they're doing, how Curry's doing, how Drummond's doing.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They're going up against the Celtics, so that'll be kind of fun to watch. But hey, it is what it is, and I don't even know KD will be back. But
who would you root for in a Celtics Nets game? I know you're probably not a fan of either team.
I'm not. I just want a good basketball game, man. That's all I want. When the Sixers are not playing, I want a good basketball game. Yeah. Like, if it's against the Knicks, obviously I want the Knicks to lose. If it's against the Lakers, I want the Lakers to lose. Like, stuff like that. But I kind of want, I don't know, just a good basketball game in general, like, for me. So, how much of an impact will Steph Curry have now on the Sixers? Like, how much? We're going to miss him a lot. We're going to miss Steph Curry a lot. So, talk about that, man. How do you feel about Steph Curry being gone?
Yeah. And, a lot of the things that Seth Curry brought to the team were things that we hadn't seen out of him before. You know, his ability to handle the ball in pick and roll situations, his ability to hit clutch shots in playoff series, his ability to be a reliable starter, a guy who you could, you know, rely on to score 15 to 20 points a game for you. He really was able to he really increased his stock as a player. And I think, you know, Daryl Morey able to flip Josh Richardson for him in that trade a couple off seasons ago. One of his first moves as the Sixers GM was perfect. I think it is epitomized, you know, the type of guy that Daryl Morey is. That's why I'm so glad that the Sixers have him. And I'm also glad that the Sixers have Doc Rivers, who is able to see the value in a guy like Seth Curry. I mean, I know you've seen the clip where he's talking about, you know, oh yeah, Seth is just my he's just my son-in-law. I wanted to see my grandkids more. That's the only reason we signed him. When in reality, signed him because he can shoot. He can shoot the lights out of
We
the ball.
traded for him, right?
Yeah, it was the Josh Richardson
Yeah.
trade. Yeah, and yeah, I think trading for him, getting a guy like that, was really nice to see him grow his role in the NBA. He's obviously living in the shadow of his brother, who is arguably the greatest point guard of all time. So I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that. So you know, it sucks to see him go. I hate to see him go. I wish that it was. I wish we could have traded, you know, a guy like Danny Green or Korkmaz or anyone else. But obviously, Brooklyn saw the value in him, and you know, I liked Brooklyn's roster. I really like Kyrie Irving. I'm not a huge Kyrie Irving fan in terms of the teams he plays for, but I just like watching him play. Dude is talented, and
He
I miss
really
watching him. I miss watching him consistently, dude. I wish, you know, he was able to play. No matter what you believe in terms of, you know, the vaccine situation, you know, I think either way, uh, I think he should be able to play. Whether or not you think he should have just got it, I think he should have just got it. You know, it doesn't matter. Everyone has their own opinion, but I really want to see Kyrie Irving play. I really wanted to see Ben Simmons play, and I'm glad, you know, it's going to be interesting watching them on the court at the same time.
yeah. Yeah.
Not sure how that's going to work.
Yeah, but before you get into that, you brought up something about Doc Rivers. So, how do you feel he's going to coach with James Harden, like the rotations and stuff? Because to me, if we don't have James Harden and Embiid on the court at the same time, or one of them on the court while the other one sits, something's wrong here. You agree with me? Because I feel like one of those guys have to be on the court at all times.
Yeah, and people forget, you know, because Harden has, you know, his weight has fluctuated in the past couple seasons. He's one of the most durable guys in the league in terms of playing day in, day out, playing almost 40 minutes a game. You know, back in Houston, he would literally play almost every game, 40 minutes a game, give them his all. You know, Brooklyn was a little bit of a different situation for him, and I wish he played. I wish we got to see a better version of James Harden in Brooklyn, because that now people, I think he diminished his value a lot. And I think that showed when he was the last pick in the All-Star game, which I didn't think I think he's well above the last pick of the All-Star game caliber. I don't know what you believe as well. But I think, you know, Doc Rivers is going to have to, play with the lineups a little bit. I think that's the hardest part of coaching. I try not to get on him about that. But I also don't think that there should be lineups full of bench guys. And I know that's something he likes to do with 5 guys on the bench and out there at the same time. I think he has to stagger it a little bit, maybe keep one guard out there, bring a forward in, you know, pick and choose when not to, you know, sit guys. But I think Harden's going to play a lot. We're going to see him a lot at the 2 with Maxey on the court, and we're going to see him a lot at the 1 with Maxey off the court. So I think that's something that, you know, Harden brings to the table. I think Rivers is going to bring, you know, more inspired defense out of him. Just being in a comfortable environment. I think that's another reason why he's gonna play a little bit harder and give us a little bit more on the defensive end. But yeah, Doc Rivers is a Hall of Fame coach for a reason. Even though there have been playoff struggles, collapses, upsets, that type of thing, it happens in sports. It happens to every coach. And the fact that it is considered an upset or a collapse or whatever you want to call it, it just shows that Doc Rivers' team. People expect Doc Rivers to win, and people in Philly are going to expect no less. They're going to expect nothing different, and I think he is able to coach to those expectations. I don't have any reason to believe he's not the guy for the Sixers moving forward over the next 5-6 years. So yeah, I believe in Doc Rivers.
Yeah. How would the starting five change affect the team in general for the Sixers? It will change a lot. I mean, it's not going to work right away. There's going to be some miscues here and there. Not a lot of chemistry. Maybe the chemistry will be 100% accurate. We don't know. But hey, I mean, it's going to be something to be looked at. It's going to be something fun to watch. I can't remember the last time we had two top 10 players on the same team other than Julius Erving and Moses Malone. That was the last time.
Yeah.
But hey.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as well. And these are two legit top 10 guys in the league right now. This is the 2018 MVP and the 2022 MVP. So
yeah, I like it. Speaking to existence.
Exactly. I'm already speaking that. But yeah, no, it's exciting. It's really exciting. We've seen what it's like with two all-stars with Simmons and Embiid, and Embiid hadn't reached his peak yet a couple seasons ago. Simmons hadn't reached his peak, even though who knows if he's going to get there. I think this whole situation has derailed his career a little bit. It's unfortunate, but hey, he's no longer an issue. He's no longer a distraction in the locker room. He's no longer, having to go through what he went through or says he went through with Philadelphia. So, best of luck to him. Glad everything worked out in everyone's favor. And, I'm looking forward to watching the second half of the season, the Nets and the Sixers play as well.
Yeah. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But right here, I think James Harden saved himself in Brooklyn only when it was necessary. Did he play hard? Yeah, he played hard. He changed his game. He adapted, and that's why I feel like it's going to be a good fit because he can adapt. He can change his game. We've seen it time and time again. So I don't think he's going to do a lot of iso ball. I don't think that because with Joel Embiid down low, sure, he never had a center play like Joel Embiid who needed the ball in his hands. I mean, he played with like Clint Capella, Dwight Howard for a little bit, even though I think Clint Capella was the best center that Harden has ever played with until now. So I feel like Harden's going to change his game, and he's going to like ball out. Like, I love it. I can't wait. I just can't wait. So, yeah, man. So we just got to talk about it right now, right? We just got to talk about it. And what was your first reaction that he was traded? Ben Simmons, your first reaction?
Yeah, no, dude, crazy. So, I'm sitting here. It happened right before my basketball practice. So I live off campus. So, I'm just getting my stuff together, getting ready to, hop in my car and drive to, our arena to where we have practice every day. And I got a message on Snapchat. I'm in like a group Snapchat with a Knicks fan and two Celtics fans. So,
oh wow,
it's always a fun time in that group chat. So we always go at each other. We always give each other a hard time. But yeah. So he, one of my friends. He was the first to let me know before I even, checked social media or I got an alert from ESPN or something like that. And he told me, he's like, yeah, you guys got Ben Simmons, or you guys got James Harden. You traded Ben Simmons. I was like, no way. So I start looking all over social media. I'm trying to find out, oh my gosh, who was it for? Like, who else did we get? Like, what just happened? And must have been maybe 10, 15 people texted me in that time period. And I, during those 20 minutes when I was, gathering my stuff, getting ready to go to practice, it just turned to me just sitting here on my phone the entire time. You're responding to text messages, checking to see who else was involved in the trade, trying to find a graphic of James Harden in a Sixers uniform so I could post it to my story as quick as possible because I wanted to share it with the world how happy I was that they had finally gotten, a superstar caliber player to play with Joel Embiid. And that was my initial reaction, just shock, sitting here on my phone, just trying to find out all the details and really just really happy, really happy. I think people can say that the Sixers lost the trade or that they gave up too much, but the way I look at it, Simmons wasn't playing anyway, so you really just traded. And Simmons wasn't playing, and the first round picks aren't going to be worth nothing. So you really just traded Andre Drummond and Seth Curry for James Harden and Paul Millsap, which is a win to me.
Right. So I'm actually going to show you my reaction instead of just texting to you. I mean, we're right here. Might as well, right? So
I love that.
Yeah, I'm going to just show you it right now. So
were you live streaming?
Huh?
Were you live streaming when this happened?
Yes. So I was live streaming with Coach Dante, as you can see right underneath me right there. And it was for Spotlight Sports Network. We were doing a trade deadline show. And I was going through like a family issue or something, right? So something personal off screen. And I just come in and you're just going to see it from here.
I've been saying this a whole week. But it happened.
What?
The trade happened. It went through.
Which one?
Brooklyn got
Who tweeted it?
Y'all got James Harden.
Yeah. Dude, I just let it all out. Like, I was just like, it had to.
Were you just screaming? You weren't saying anything?
I was like, I gotta call my dad. I was just screaming because I had to let it all out, bro. I just had to let it all out. So, and I actually made a video, right? I had Ben Simmons' shirt, right? I threw it in the recycling bin, and I was like, wait, that's not recyclable. I took it out and threw it in the trash. But, yeah, we traded a vet for one of the best 75 best players of all time, ever. So, here's my thing about that. I don't think James Harden should have made it. Tony Parker should have made it, or Tracy McGrady. You agree with that?
Wow.
No, Tony Parker.
You're saying over James Harden, or you're saying over some of the other guys that made it?
No, I'm just saying.
Lillard or Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, I can see. Damian Lillard, I can't. Westbrook, I can't see at all.
Really? Three straight triple-double seasons, an MVP?
I mean, that's the only reason he got it. But over Tony Parker, though?
Yeah, I definitely think Tony Parker. It's the fact that Tony Parker played with so many other great players and had great coaching, and it was part of a dynasty. You can't include everyone from the dynasty. I don't think Manu Ginobili made it either, and Tony Parker has a better case than Manu because Tony actually won Finals MVP.
Yeah,
or I think Manu won one too.
I don't know. I looked it up later.
But of those 5 championships, I know that Duncan has a couple, and Tony Parker won one, and I think Manu maybe have won one, and we all know Kawhi won one. So
yeah, I mean Kawhi deserved it, but Tony Parker though,
did Kawhi make it? Kawhi definitely made it.
Kawhi, of course, made it. Yeah. I'm going to talk to you about that later, but.
Yeah, it sucks about these lists because you have a guy like Tony Parker. You put him in a Damian Lillard situation, and he's in Portland with this turbulent coaching. and they just can't. They give him a good sidekick, but they don't give any other role players in terms of guys that can help him out and take on the scoring load. Take on
Wait, are you saying who's a bust?
what?
Who did we say that's a bust?
Who's a bust?
I don't know, Vic. You got to tell me here. If you say it's Tony Parker, I'm gonna go off. But yeah. So we're closing in here. We got 5 minutes left. So I just want to ask you, give me your all-time starting five for the Sixers.
All time. Wow.
All-time starting five.
Jeez. Okay.
I'll give you mine.
Does it matter what they were like when they played for the Sixers, or do they have to be because I would take MVP Charles Barkley and put him. I would make him a Sixer and put him on my all-time team.
Whenever they play for the Sixers. So if you want to include Charles Barkley, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. So I mean, he was great.
Yeah,
on
okay.
He was better in Phoenix, for sure. But I have to put Allen Iverson, Julius Erving, Joel Embiid, Charles Barkley. Shoot,
you're forgetting about a couple.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna tell you mine. It's just, I'm trying to go
tell me yours so you can help me out.
So for my point guard, I got Maurice Cheeks. It's different. I know, but hey, he was a great facilitator. He could shoot when he had to. Allen Iverson, Julius Erving, Joel Embiid at the 4, Wilt Chamberlain at the 5.
Did not think of Wilt. I forgot about Wilt. Dang. I was gonna say Moses too.
Moses, okay. You can go either way with that. So honestly, I might put Moses over Embiid because Embiid still got a long way to go. So for me, I'll put Moses there at 4.
Okay. Yeah. No, and I like that. I really do. I think, my God, Joel
so
Embiid,
many. It's just like
no one's getting a shot off against that lineup. No front court players ever getting a shot off. No, but that's a great team right there. And I love making these types of teams. What would be your top 5 all time players?
Oh, I've been thinking about this so many times, dude. So many times. Like Magic, Jordan, LeBron, Dirk, and Kareem.
Okay.
I'm trying to change it up a little bit because you always get the same people every single time.
I think mine is I only have one similar guy on my team than you. The only guys we agree on are LeBron and Jordan, which I think everyone has.
I mean, you could put Kobe in there, and then put LeBron at the 4.
Kobe on there. I love Kobe, but I don't even put him on there. My all-time team would be Curry at the 1, Jordan 2, Bron 3, Duncan 4, and Olajuwon 5.
Ooh, I like Olajuwon there, and Duncan's the best power forward of all time. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, really quick, before we close out, let's answer this last question. Do you think with the addition of Harden, another superstar player would want to sing or stay with
probably.
Sign, okay.
Yeah,
would sign with Philly to win a championship? Yes. Because Daryl Morey and James Harden, that relationship is locked. They're each other's guy. So when I want that, would I want to pay that contract after this next season? Probably not. It'll be like a Westbrook contract, and it would be 34. So you can go either way with that. But I honestly see James Harden spending his rest of his career in Philly.
Yeah. No, I see that too. And if the Tobias Harris contract can get moved, the Sixers will have the space to sign, another really, really good player. It just depends on who it can be. But yeah, I just don't want to see anyone come in and that's going to stunt Maxey. I think Harden's the perfect guy to put with Maxey because, he can learn a couple things and they can also coexist. But I just don't want too many guys to be coming in, trying to take the Sixers over the hump when in reality, Maxey and Embiid for the next almost 10 years, I want to say, because centers can play for a long time in this NBA.
Yeah, I definitely
I
agree with
think
that.
they're going to be dangerous. And James
Yeah.
Harden is going to be, the guy to bridge them together and bring that experience.
All right. So that's your episode 15 of MK Headlines, guys. I want to thank Terrence Echols, a good friend of mine. I mean, talk about your channel, man, really quick.
Yeah, no, and a lot of my channel is I like to do interviews with a lot of my teammates, like to tell their stories. We play it's Division I basketball, but it's very small. We're a small school. We don't get a lot of recognition. So I really just try to spread the story of my teammates, spread the story of people who I think are, cool people. I had Mitch on and we talked a lot about the Sixers as well. So I really just like to, tell stories and talk about different topics. And I really enjoy what I do. And yeah, thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I got you. If you want to talk about anything, you got my number. We can talk. But last question here. How would you all feel if Ben Simmons starts slashing three?
I'd laugh because, yeah.